Hello. Okay, I can see already that the video is backwards again for the third time or something. I'm not sure how to change that still. I don't know what is the problem. And that makes these videos a little more difficult to present, but we'll do our best. Okay, sorry for the kind of slow start here. Well, like I said, this is sort of a fake unboxing. Okay, so if I move the camera, what happens? Nothing. It just makes everything worse than it was before, except I have to think in reverse. Okay, so Grant Stone, I took the boot out of the bag already. And this is your shoehorn with bottle opener, and usually there's an extra pair of laces, but same as the last video, this one's been knotted. So it takes extra time to fidget with this stuff. Okay, now these extra laces, these are very flimsy, not laces I will probably ever use, but I show them every time anyway. And this is your upside down bottle opener shoehorn thing, which I'll probably also never use. And this is the box, and there goes the bottle opener. Okay, so, and once again the card, which I always read part of the card, but we believe in the fundamentals of boot making, prioritizing fit and using proper components. Initial fit, place your shoe boot on carpet or shoe bag, which shoe bag is this cloth bit that comes in the thing that I also don't use because I have carpet. And here's the little logo, and here's the foam pad thing, which is good for children's crafts or something. And here's the thank you card, which has more writing on the back that I'll read in a moment. You can't read that, so that's why I'm reading it. After lacing, look for the widest part of your foot to settle in the widest area of the shoe. Extra room in front of the toes is expected. This is where I've been having the issues because I'm not having extra room in front of the toes, and my toes are basically touching the sides here. And that gets situational with different types of boots, which we'll get into. Footwear that shows sign of wear cannot be exchanged or refunded. Any questions, send us an email, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then the thank you card says, for purchasing a pair of footwear, if you have any questions or comments, send us a mail. Again, they need to fix that. We want to hear from you. Okay. And so I'm in the process of doing some of that. Now they've included the more robust rawhide laces here instead of the flimsy dress laces that I just showed. Don't know which one I'm going to go with. We got the 3 speed hooks instead of 2, like some brands. We've got 4 eyelets. We've got, as I've showed before, better here for not shredding your tongue leather so much. The tongue, I assume that's Ostrich. You can see the Grant Stone name in there where the foam thing kind of ends, and then it says genuine leather, which I mentioned in a previous video, and somebody kind of wanted to argue with me about what genuine leather means. Typically, it means random quality leather, not necessarily top notch. Okay. Now, Ostrich, of course, I would assume is better than genuine cow or goat leather because we're dealing with supposedly a higher quality product right out the get-go. And this is not an embossed like those Stacy Adams ostrich and lizards and kind of shoes, I assume. Whereas these are, legitimate quill marks and that kind of thing. So here, as I pointed out in the title, we got a service boot, which typically means like you've got something more of a backstay or whatever here instead of just a nothing a one piece, I should say, like a couple of the other models that I showed, the Edward and the cap toe. Got a little bit of stitching along here and down the front. This is so impossible with the camera not functioning correctly. So here you got the vamp, where you're going to see most of your definition. Of course, you know, cowboy boots, I think, popularized this sort of thing, and now they've kind of spread into more dressy boots. But again, with cowboy boots and things, you typically don't see a lot of people using Ostrich for heavy duty work, because this leather might be tough, but if you hit something hard with your foot there, I think you're still going to feel it. I think there's a bit of reinforcement in the toe here, unlike maybe certain boots. Then you've got their version of a day-night sole with the flat here and the no nails and the recessed, semi-recessed nubs. Some people don't like this type of sole. I think they're fine for walking around. You have less flexibility than the leather, but leather you can't use in any weather. And since I wear boots, you know, in winter, I worry slightly more about puddles, but I'm in California, so I don't worry too much about puddles. So we do have the Goodyear welt. This time it is a 360 welt, unlike one or two of the other pairs where we had like the welt ended here, and then you had the back separate. Here you've got the bit of the contrast, which we didn't have on the Edward. It's kind of a single row stitch there, and then triple stitch up along here. So you can kind of see, I'm trying to keep my fingers out of the shot, and you can just figure it out. So yeah, a lot more texture, a lot more character, you know, to an Ostrich. It's kind of why I sent back the Chrome XL one, because I already have Thursday boots in Chrome XL. So maybe someday I'll upgrade, but in the meantime, I don't need several pairs of the same exact color of Chrome XL shiny leather. But like I said, literally with this is the regular width. My toes are like right in here, and when I flex my pinky toe, the leather really moves with it, which I've never had before, because most leather is way more stiff than this. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not sure how the wider width is going to fit overall, but I probably will have to try the wider width with these and the Edward and the cap toe. I'm not sure, but I did get the wider width in the field boot, and I do not like it as much as I thought I would. So I'm not sure what to say about that. And then the box, again, you've got your little logo and your whatnot, and then the bag for boot number 2. So for an unboxing, 8 minutes, we're not too bad. I mean, the second boot, same as the first, right? If you're Henry VIII. And unlike the other pairs that I'm positive had been tried on before, this one seems to have paper in the toes. And I do recommend shoe trees with this kind of thing. I didn't mention in the previous boot you do have the lining, the kind of glove lining, which is really hard for me to show and everything's backwards. Sorry about that. Especially when the light is on the side of where it used to make sense, and now it's on the wrong side, but I have nowhere to put a light on this side because my speaker woofer has to go there to make noise. So the light can't move and the camera won't cooperate. But you can see the tongue better here. I'll do that. And what is the parts of the Ostrich where they, you know, take each piece? I don't know. I assume that the inner leather is not Ostrich, because that would be silly. And it's expensive. So you can see the stitching there and kind of close up. And you can see the quill patterns and the heel and the stitching. Again, the triple and the single. Or, well, technically it's double. I can see it better now that it's more in focus. But single along here, and then double, wrong side, double back here. It feels like being completely incapacitated. Like trying to say the alphabet backwards, right? Z, Y, X, W, V. Am I close? Okay. And so, yeah, you need, like I said, a little bit of contrast here. These laces that I will promptly remove, or actually I'm probably sending this pair back and removing the next pair, but same difference. And so I don't know what else to say about them except that they are, in fact, boots, and they are welted, and they do add a lot of stitching to their welts, which I guess some people would like that look better than the less welts. I mean, you're using a bit more thread, but you're also making more holes, so I think it's kind of an either or. But we do have a leather welt instead of a plastic, kind of thing. So definitely an upgrade there. And of course the stitch in the channel, which I didn't really talk about before, which may or may not really matter in the long run. As far as I've had glue on outsoles that have come off because of the cold weather or whatever, but it's not the most common fail point, I guess. So, however, your mileage may vary. And then, of course, if you had to get these rebuilt, you'd be hard pressed to get the same ostrich leather from any place that isn't pretty expensive already. So I don't know how cost effective it is to get these rebuilt or not, but I assume you should get a couple resoles out of it before you'd have to worry about that, unless you really go out of your way to scuff them all up. Again, ostrich is supposed to be pretty durable and all that, but I imagine it looks terrible if you treat it badly, like any leather. So we'll see. And like I said, so if you have any questions or comments, I'll try not to make this a 20-minute video. I didn't do one for Super Bowl weekend because I didn't feel like competing with the Super Bowl, but now instead I'm competing with Valentine's Day. So we'll see how it goes, but I still have to make the video sooner or later to have a video.